Well, hi there, girls and boys and moms and dads, and welcome to PJs and Pillows. Tonight's book is called Boo Stew. It was written by Donna L. Washington, and the pictures are by Jeffrey Ebbeler. Let's begin. There were always scares in Toadsuck Swamp, but Curlylocks didn't pay 'em much mind. The scares kept to themselves. They only woke up at night, and the most annoying thing about 'em was their hootin' and hollerin'. The only thing Curlylocks truly cared about was cookin'. Sadly, the townsfolk ran the other way when she offered 'em batwing brownies, cat hair cupcakes, or toad-eye toffees. It was disappointing, but her mama just said, "Do what your heart loves." Well, her heart loved to cook. One night, Curlylocks left a pan of lizard skin lasagna cooling on the windowsill. When she returned, the dish was licked clean. She peered out into Toadsuck. "Somebody out there likes my cooking." The next morning, the mayor was singing to himself as he sat down to breakfast when an itty-bitty scare opened the window and plopped right into the middle of his pancakes. It waggled its hairy little head. "Gitchy boo, gitchy bon, gitchy goo, gitchy gone." The mayor lit a blue streak out of that house and nearly knocked down the blacksmith. "Whoa there, Mr. Mayor! What's got you so shook?" "There's an itty-bitty scare a-sittin' in the middle of my pancakes." "What's one of them critters doing out in daylight?" the blacksmith asked. "Who cares?" the mayor trembled. "I just want it out of my kitchen." The blacksmith laughed. "I'll knock that itty-bitty scare into next Tuesday." "I wouldn't go in there if I was you," the mayor whispered. "Well, you ain't me." The blacksmith stuck out his chest and strutted into the mayor's house. The itty-bitty scare was sitting in the middle of a big old mess on the mayor's table. The blacksmith was getting ready to snatch up that critter by his ear when he felt a tap, tap, tapping on his shoulder. "Gitchy boo, gitchy goo, gitchy bon, gitchy gone." The blacksmith cut out of that house and ran smack dab into the chicken rancher. "Why y'all making such a fuss over one little scare?" asked the chicken rancher. "Because it's in my kitchen," the mayor snapped. Two scares," stammered the blacksmith. "The second one is bigger than the first." "Bah," said the chicken rancher. "All they ever do is hoot and holler. Don't you fret none. I'll handle it." "I wouldn't go in there if I was you," warned the blacksmith. "Well, you ain't me." The chicken rancher lifted his chin and swaggered into the mayor's house. Lickety-split, that chicken rancher snatched the itty-bitty scare by the tuft of hair and lassoed the other with his rope. "You scares don't scare me," he roared. The house started a-shakin'. The rancher's knees started a-quakin'. Thump, thump, whomp, thump, thump, whomp. "Gitchy boo, gitchy bon, gitchy goo, gitchy gone." The chicken rancher nearly flew out of that house. "There's 3 of 'em," he hollered. "The last one's huge." Stories about the scares spread like kerosene fire. Curlylocks was heading into town when she saw folks running through the streets. "Where y'all going?" she yelled. "There's scares. Wrecking the mayor's kitchen," the dressmaker hollered back. Curlylocks remembered the lizard skin lasagna that was licked clean from her windowsill. She thought, "I bet nobody's tried cooking for 'em. I better get over there right away." A frightful din was coming out of the mayor's house when Curlylocks arrived. "Easy there, little lady," the mayor called. "There's 3 scares in there," the blacksmith added. "I hear 'em," Curlylocks replied. "I'm going to make 'em something to eat." "Bless your heart," said the innkeeper. "That don't sound like a good idea." "Maybe it is," the barber exclaimed. "Her cooking would drive anything away." Curlylocks walked up the front steps. "I wouldn't go in there if I was you," yelled the chicken rancher. "Well, you ain't me." And with that, Curlylocks clutched her basket, squared her shoulders, and marched into the house. The door shut behind her, and the scares got quiet. Curlylocks peeked into the kitchen. It was a frightful mess. She put her big-bellied pot on the pot-bellied stove and took out possum grease and toadstool and set to work. The cupboard burst open, and an itty-bitty scare jumped out. "Gitchy boo, gitchy bon, gitchy goo, gitchy gone." Curlylocks didn't bat an eye. "I'll go if you like, but if I do, you'll never get a taste of my famous boo stew." "Boo stew? Oh!" The itty-bitty scare sat down at the table and banged his bowl and spoon together. Ah," said Curlylocks. "First we clean off the table, then we wash our hands." Curlylocks was adding powdered beetle and lizard spit to the pot when she felt a tap, tap, tap on her shoulder. "Gitchy boo, gitchy bon, gitchy goo, gitchy gone." Curlylocks stiffened, but didn't let on that she was startled. "I'll go if you like, but if I do, you'll never get a taste of my famous boo stew." "Boo stew? Ooh!" The Midland scare clapped his scaly hands. "Clean the floor first," said Curlylocks. "Then set the table." Curlylocks added moose ear broth, toenail clippings, and gnat juice. Thump, thump, womp. Thump, thump, womp. Gitchy boo, gitchy bon, gitchy goo, gitchy gone. The biggest, thumpiest, wompiest scare of all came a gnashing his scare teeth, a waggling his scare claws, and a clomping his scare feet. Curlylocks gripped her spoon so tight it nearly slapped in two. "I'll go if you like, but if I do, you'll never get a taste of my famous boo stew." Boo stew? Ooh! That big scare licked his jowls in anticipation. "Clean the ceiling, please." By the time the kitchen was put right, the stew was piping hot and ready to eat. Curlylocks took a taste and smiled. "I hope y'all are hungry, 'cause this might just be the best batch of boo stew east of the Mississippi." Those scares ate until they were full, as tight as ticks in high summer. They licked their fingers, they licked their toes, they licked each other's toes. Curlylocks didn't mind their sorry manners. Why, she'd never seen a single soul enjoy her cooking so. "Carry yourselves on back to Toadsuck Swamp," cooed Curlylocks. And I'll make boot stew and lots of other things for you and your friends every night. Some say it was the finest deal ever struck in those parts. The Scares got themselves a heap of delicious food. With their bellies full, they didn't spend all night hootin' and hollerin'. The townsfolk got plenty of sleep now that Toadsuck was quiet. The mayor got a fine tale to tell for years to come. And Curlylocks? She got a load of hearty eaters who appreciated her cooking. That was the best thing of all. And that is the end of the story. So brush your teeth, give hugs to the people that you love, and have sweet dreams. Good night.